There we go. How are we doing, everybody? Mic is now on. The microphone is now on. The microphone, we are talking. The microphone. For those of you that missed the beginning of that show, I revealed basically the secret of the universe from this book right here. Sorry that you missed it. We'll return to it later. Today's Casual Wednesday in the office on the Trader's Lunchbox. Welcome. Really glad that you're here. We have some really special stuff coming along, and I'm grabbing some of my favorite books off the shelves, and I got one more that I want to grab off the shelf here. Having all kinds of audio issues today, aren't we? All right, here we go. That's a good one. Oh, that's a good one too. Wow, there's so many good books. All right, we're going to go through some of these. I'm just randomly choosing books off of the shelf here. How are we doing on sound? Is it working? Oh. The sound is low. The sound is low. Yeah, you know, sometimes we got to just play around with it a little bit. So we're glad that you're here. All right, now we're better off. Thanks for being here. Thanks for bearing with the sound issues. We might re-record this. We're never going to re-record this. Honestly, it's never going to happen. So thanks for bearing with it. All right, here's a book called The Crowd, A Study of the Popular Mind. Honestly, Nate, I never read this at all, ever. The ideas, reasoning, power, and imaginations of crowds. I don't really know. This book, this is one of the most influential works of social psychology in history. Okay, I'm going to read this weekend. I'm going to read that one, and I'll give you my point. This is Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. This is, Tim Ferriss's buddy. They're always pitching each other's books, and I hate this title, Ego is the Enemy. I hate this title. It just sounds like he wanted to write a book about why if you think you're so great, that's a problem for you. But then again, he writes these books and he's like, these books are the greatest ever. Otherwise, he wouldn't write them. So this is automatically, I just don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not even sure I like stoicism, like self-denial. Here's a bunch of short stories. I think most of us as traders don't read enough fiction. All right, this is one of the greatest books ever. Born to Run. I actually have multiple copies of this book. So Nate, if somebody would like this copy of Born to Run, this is about the super tribe of ultra runners that lived in Mexico in the Copper Canyons. This book was awesome. And there's tons. Once again, it's not a book about trading, but there are tons of interesting lessons for traders inside of this book. So Nate, we'll set that off to the side. And I still haven't read Tom Wolfe's A Man in Full, but I'll get to that. Lone Survivor, I actually don't even care about reading that. This book was awesome. This book is about Genghis Khan, but that's not really applicable. All right, here we go. This is one of the top 5. This is a top 5 book. So if you're interested in books and interested in self-improvement, this is a top 5 book. And it's called How the Mighty Fall by Jim Collins. I'll bring it forward here so you can get a really good look at that. Whether you prevail or fail, endure or die, depends more on what you do to yourself than on what the world does to you. This is a spectacular book. This book covers the 5 stages of decline that companies go through, but it also applies to individuals, it applies to nations, and specifically, for our purposes here, it applies to traders. It is an incredibly influential book in my life. I am not giving this away. I think this is my only copy left. If you read one book over the holiday season, this will wake you up to the reality that as things get worse for most people, they go into stages of denial rather than tackling those things straight up. That is a great book. This is a copy of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read this old copy of the book a million years ago when I was a kid, like a really long time ago. And this has nothing to do with trading. And some of these principles seem a little bit outdated, but this book and Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi, those have been really influential books. And then How to Swim with the Sharks Without Being Eaten by Harvey Mackay. That was another book that was really influential. He also wrote a book about networking that was really big. This is the single most influential book on my life, probably. This is Dante's Inferno. I can't imagine why any of you would want to read that. Pitbull, Lessons from Wall Street's Champion Day Trader. This book, I have zero interest in this book. I actually, someone recommended this book to me and I just couldn't care less. Nate, if someone would like a copy of this book, we'd love to send it. We'd love sending you all stuff. We love you all. I mean, a lot. We really love you all so much. So if someone out there wants to say, I'd love this copy of Pitbull, leave a like on the video, leave a comment on the video, let us know. But let us know you'd like a copy. We'd love to send it to you. We love doing things for you. You do so much for us by helping us with the videos and staying with us when the audio's not doing well. So just let me know you'd like that copy. This is another Ryan Holiday book, The Obstacle is the Way, that the challenges that we face in our lives are the reason for our success. Not the reason for our failure, but the challenges that we face are the birthing points of success. That's a great lesson. I'm sorry I said some negative things about Ryan Holiday a minute ago. I've now changed my mind. Okay, this is, once again, this is another one of the most influential books in my life. This is The Leader's Guide. I took this book on my honeymoon, actually, for those moments when my wife was sleeping in. This is the author of The Lean Startup, Eric Ries, and he now is a giantly successful consultant. And this is the Leader's Guide to Adopting the Lean Startup Methodology. The Lean Startup Methodology is all about rapid prototyping and rapid testing, which we're going to talk about a little bit later in today's video. And this book was a real eye-opener for me. This is another one of the most influential books I ever read. I recommended this to my beautiful wife, Nikki, the other day, The Elements of Style. Have you ever read this book? Nate, have you ever read The Elements of Style back in high school?
No, but I'm actually familiar with it.
Strunk and White. This book had a massive influence on me in writing. So if you're thinking about writing about the financial markets or writing about anything, that's one you want to pick up, The Elements of Style. Paul Throw is a travel author. I don't know why you would want to read these, but I was on a flight to Japan to do a seminar one time, and I sat down with Paul Throw's book, The Happy Isles, I-S-L-E-S, of Oceania. And he leaves his wife. He knows that when he comes home, she won't be there anymore. And he takes a kayak, gets on a plane, and goes to the South Pacific. And he kayaks through islands in the South Pacific. That was a pretty amazing book. And I sat there on the plane to Tokyo, from New York to Tokyo, and I read that book cover to cover. This is another great book that you don't have to read cover to cover. This is Charlie Munger, The Complete Investor by Trent Griffin. Charlie Munger is Warren Buffett's investing partner. And this book and Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman are two books that really are companion guides to A Guide to Rational Living. These are books about living more rationally, thinking more rationally, thinking more methodically and strategically, and watching out for the common mistakes in the ways that we think. Charlie Munger, you think of him as one of the world's most successful investors of all time, but what he really is one of the best thinkers on the planet. Okay, that brings us to my favorite book that is not about trading, which is Shunro Suzuki's Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. I'm going to go close in on this one as well, hopefully without ruining my microphone this time. All right, Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. This is, I can't even, there's so many passages from this book that have influenced my trading for the better. But I want to read this quote to you and have a conversation to finish off today's video. Thanks for being here. And once again, thank you for sticking with us when we had those audio problems at the beginning. All right, from the prologue, it starts off just punches you in the brain from the prologue. So the most difficult thing is to keep your beginner's mind. There's no need to have a deep understanding of Zen Or we could say there's no need to have a deep understanding of trading. I want you to let that sink in for a minute here. I'm going to read it again. So the most difficult thing is always to keep your beginner's mind. Remember, most traders at the beginning, when they're just using a demo account, the first paper trading account most traders ever have is a stupendous and spectacular success. There's no need to have a deep understanding of trading. What most of us will think, especially when we begin, is there is some kind of need for us to chase down every last thread in a giant quilted pattern of the markets, when we can never really actually get there. There is no end to gaining knowledge. Have you ever met someone who is endlessly learning but never knowing? Who has endless amounts of knowledge but no wisdom? Would it be better to learn everything there is to know about the last 17 non-farm payroll reports and interest rate decisions? Or would it be better to conquer our own irrational decision making? One seems really obvious. There's no need to have a deep understanding of trading. Even though you read much trading literature, you must read each sentence with a fresh mind. Most of us, when we read a new trading book, we interpret it or see it through the lens of all of the negative and positive experiences that we've had and all the biases that we have. One of the greatest struggles that we have as humans is our tendency to have confirmation bias, that we make our decisions emotionally, and then later on we layer on top of it all kinds of other reasons for having made those decisions. Well, rather than that, every time you read something new in the world of trading, maybe read each sentence with a fresh mind. As a brand new trader who's excited to read it, who gives it a chance to be successful, might be worth it. You should not say, I know what trading is, or I have attained enlightenment, or let's say I have attained profitability. I mean, I get chills just saying that sentence. Think about it. You should not ever say, I know what trading is. Think of the last person you talked to that acted like they knew everything. Was that person enjoyable to discuss things with? Did you want to have hours and hours on end with that person, listening to them as a windbag blowhard tell you everything that they know? Not really. I don't think we're attracted to people or situations where someone says they know everything. Well, the market isn't going to be attracted to you if you act like you know everything. The minute we say we know what trading is, we're just asking for trouble. We're just asking for problems. This is also the real secret of the arts, which I think would include trading. Always be a beginner. Be very, very careful about this point. If you start to practice zazen, or sitting, but let's also say trading, you will begin to appreciate your beginner's mind. It is the secret of Zen practice, and I would say trading practice. The secret of trading practice, when you open up those charts in the morning, is to view things with a completely fresh perspective. It would be ideal if every time we opened things up there was a fresh account or a starting point, but we can't always have that. So to think of things with a fresh mind, a beginner's mind, is to give it a chance, is to open ourselves up to possibilities. And when we open ourselves up to possibilities, I think that's when some of the most magical stuff happens. I just love spending time with you all. Starting today, we're going to do a sale for the holiday weekend on lifetime membership. And very soon, lifetime membership will cost $997. But if you want a sale price on lifetime membership, would you come along for the ride? Can I invite you in? We'll give you a link below this video when we're all done. And I'll send out a link by email, and we'll do a big promotion. So we have these two books. Nate, who are our two winners today? We don't have our winners today. Nobody was interested in these two books. That's fine. That's perfectly reasonable. I actually like these books. I have extra copies of Born to Run. So we'll save that for another time when somebody wants to read that. This one, Pitbull, Lessons from Wall Street's Champion Day Trader. The only reason I haven't thrown it away, does anybody, who wants one?
Stock Junction wants Pitbull.
Hey, I know Stock Junction. We'll give you a Pitbull. The only reason I haven't thrown this book away is I feel bad about it. But now I don't have to feel bad about it because we're going to send it to Stock Junction. So here's what you do, Stock Junction. Find me on Facebook, Rob Booker Trader on Facebook, and send me a message with your address. And we'll put this in a box with some special stuff for the office. And if you want to read Board to Run, send me a message on Facebook, and we'll give me your address, and we'll send that out to you as well. We will see you again on Monday for the Trader's Lunchbox. And we'll see you on Friday for those of you that follow Marketing Podcast Weekly. Nate and I will do our live show, our live broadcast, right here from the table. I guess if we can get another, chair. I didn't think about that. And we'll see you on Friday for those of you that are interested in that. You can find that show at Marketing Podcast Weekly on Facebook as well, or Marketing Podcast Weekly wherever beautiful podcasts are listened to. Thanks for being here, everybody. Love you all. Have the greatest holiday ever if you're in the States, and we'll see you on Monday, traders. Bye for now.